Welcome to week 2 of the live feedback loop. This is where we're going to refine not only what we do, but also how we show up. Our focus today is accountability to self precedes all other forms. You cannot scale your leadership, your business, or your impact if you're outsourcing your accountability. It starts here. Starts with you. Feedback accelerates your growth by collapsing learning loops. So, showing up to these meetings and having external accountability while you're also doing this internal accountability audit for yourself compounds the data that your subconscious is able to maintain to get you to the next level. Should you avoid any sort of feedback, then sure, you'll make whatever progress you make on your own, but you'll always be limited and you'll always have a cap because you don't know what you don't know. And when you aren't outsourcing knowledge or feedback from the people around you who not only have experience with the things that you are looking to accomplish, but also hold the core values that you align with. So that way, you know, when they are offering feedback, okay, I admire this person's heart. I look at their life and I would love to have a life that looks similar to theirs. And the things that they've accomplished, I too want to accomplish. And once you allow yourself to remain open and create momentum within yourself at the same time, you can then adapt accordingly to whatever feedback is then allotted to you based on whoever is open enough and willing enough in your circle to give you that feedback. Just so happens to be that that person is me at this very moment. And I'm more than grateful to be that person to help you get to where you need to get today. This lab is a safe space. All feedback here is going to be structured for improvement, and we're going to avoid any kind of judgment. And the highest return on investment comes from self feedback before external validation. Let me say that one more time. The highest return on investment comes from self feedback before external validation. Really think about that. I resonate highly with that statement. I remember after enduring a pretty challenging season in my life where I had to stop working for a time period because I was having some pretty extreme health issues. So that I was allowing my body to heal and release so that I could just have a normal life again. And without going into the details, I did this work, self feedback, constant pivoting, constant growth, constant evolving during this stage because I knew that I was going to have time to sit still enough to be able to focus that intently. I got really clear on the habits that got me into that state, that even put me in those positions to be around energies who lacked values that I did not align with to begin with, so that I would not repeat those cycles. I got really clear on the kind of energy and values and goals that I really wanted to focus on. I got really clear on what that looked like. Who was it that I wanted to work with? What core values did they have? I wrote out statements such as I am working alongside business owners who are all interested in the greater good of all involved, who have integrity, heart, and I hold boundaries with anyone who does not align with me. I pour my energy in the directions that work towards my highest alignment, and I only work in environments that are aligned with everything that I am working towards and are for the greater good of everyone involved. And I got really clear on every single detail. And before I did that, I knew that I needed to do that because it was something that I hadn't done yet. I was so busy, and that's what got me into that state to begin with. That's what put me in that chaos loop. That's what ended up turning into me having these health issues. So, just as hard as I worked and avoided that work, I went in the opposite direction and dove head first and looked very honestly in the mirror. And then I picked up a book, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and I was in shock after reading just the first maybe 20 pages. He was telling my story. He had endured something very similar to me. He explained exactly what I was experiencing in a way that I was not able to articulate yet. Maybe even for fear of not being understood. Maybe for fear of being called crazy. Maybe for fear of not knowing what I didn't know. And in that moment, I felt seen. I felt heard. I felt validated. And so the strength in that is I came to those realizations first, and then I was validated by reading a book by somebody who is well versed in accomplishing these things that I'm working towards. That felt good. That helped me expand my heart, open up even more, and trust the process even more than I already was. I share that story just to reinforce this is what it looks like. And you may not even realize it in the moment. But let me give you the blueprint so that you can intentionally navigate life now on your terms. Let's discuss why feedback matters for self accountability. I'm going to share a bit of brief data and science with you guys. The brain loves completion cues. Each time you hold yourself to a promise, your basal ganglia strengthens the habit loop. We have what's called mirror neurons, and they fire not just when you take action, but also when you witness somebody else receiving feedback and adjusting. So that means that you actually benefit even if the coaching is for someone else. Kudos to you for showing up. And then consistent self accountability reduces your cortisol spikes from emergency productivity cycles. So cortisol spikes get you in that chaos loop. The chaos loop is a perpetual cycle of basically being in burnout. And once you're in that burnout state, you overcompensate because you feel guilty. So this helps reduce that because you get very clear on the details, which truly does make a huge difference. Such a small task makes such a huge difference. We're not here to wait until the stakes are high to perform. We're here to build the reps when no one's watching. All right, let's jump into our live feedback round. Someone submitted this challenge anonymously. I've been avoiding a difficult email to a partner because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of damaging the relationship. It's actually been on my to-do list for 3 weeks. All right, so let's look at this. When I hear this, my first question is, what is your real fear? What is the actual block here that's underneath the lack of momentum? Let's get down to the core of it, to the root. Is it your fear of short-term discomfort versus your long-term cost of delay? One thing I would suggest doing is just write the email. Just write it. You don't have to send it. Oftentimes, the first email is not the one that we want to send anyways, but at least this gets that energy going. The momentum's pushing forward. And if there's something that you say that doesn't really sound clear or good enough, or maybe even you just need to release something, that gives you an opportunity to do that in this first draft and get it done within 2 minutes. Once you get that draft out, review it. Once you go in and edit it accordingly, click send. A self-accountable founder is going to address friction fast. It's not always easy, but it compounds trust and you'll feel more confidence within yourself afterwards. And it's those little decisions that you're delaying that are creating a lack of flow in every single aspect of your life. The second you can close that gap, the second you can make those decisions and do it with intentionality, but fast, the quicker you can move forward. And there goes the flow again. Falls right back into place. All right. So let's go over some key takeaways and some micro commitments. So what is one commitment you will hold yourself to this week without relying anyone else to push you? One line commitments, keep it simple for follow through. And then remember, the smaller the commitment, the higher the completion rate. Completion builds self-trust and self-trust scales everything. Our 3 core points today are self-accountability is the seed. External accountability is the fertilizer. Feedback shortens the learning curve. And action without prompting builds unshakable identity. Between now and next week, make one micro commitment and honor it without anyone watching. That's the muscle we're building. I want you guys to go ahead, please post your commitment in the school thread, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And be prepared to share what you've learned from holding yourself accountable today. Thank you guys for showing up.